Did you know that an estimated amount of 18.5 million people have sleep apnea, yet only 25% of those people are ever diagnosed? That leaves 13.5 million people out there drowsy. So how do you find out if you have sleep apnea? Today we're at the Sleep and Wellness Center in downtown Hazleton in the Hayden Towers, and I am with the medical director of the Sleep Center. This is Dr. Henry Smith Jr. And Dr. Smith, thank you for taking time to be with us today and to educate our public.
No, happy to do it.
First of all, doctor, for all the people out there who are asking, what is sleep apnea?
Sleep apnea is a problem where because of your anatomy and sometimes because you carry extra weight, you have a tendency at night for your airway to close up when you're sleeping. And what happens is that people during sleep attempt to take a breath and their airway collapses. And when that happens, the brain goes into alert mode and it tells the body that there's a problem, and it partially wakes you up. It accelerates your heart rate. It releases stress hormones into the body, which increase your blood pressure. The bottom line is that if this happens often enough at night, and for some people this can happen as often as 100 times an hour, what ends up happening is you get a disruption of what we refer to as your sleep architecture, and you don't get good quality sleep. Suddenly now you're going to bed at night, and maybe you perceive you're sleeping, but when you wake up in the morning, you're still exhausted because you've not gotten good quality sleep.
Okay, so if someone's wondering if they have sleep apnea, what would be a sign maybe that they have sleep apnea? Because I'm sure if you're sleeping, you're not going to know. If you're snoring, you don't sometimes remember if you're waking up at night. So if you don't have a partner telling you that that's happening during the night, how would they know the next day?
Well, a typical person that comes into us for sleep apnea is overweight. They typically have a large neck. When I as a doctor, look at them, I can see that the back of their throat is often very congested and crowded. Very commonly, people are brought in by their spouses because even if you're sleeping through it, your spouse may not be. And the loud snoring and these frequent pauses or these choking events at night are a very, very good sign that you've got this problem. So that we often hear from, very commonly, it'll be a spouse or a sleeping partner that will urge the patient to come in and be checked.
Okay, now when someone does come to the sleep center, is there a recommendation from a doctor that they need to come here?
Yeah, typically, in order to have a polysomnogram, you're seen by a physician first. Whether that's your primary doctor or whether that's a sleep specialist, depends on how you're referred. But ultimately, what happens is you're referred into the lab, and here you spend a night on one of these on the bed here. You're pretty well instrumented. You have a lot of different sensors hooked up to you, but actually they do it in a very clever way, so it's pretty comfortable. And you basically spend the night in what looks like a hotel room. Wake up the next morning. If you've got work, you can go right to work.
Okay.
It's not as though this takes up any of your time, because it usually occurs at times when you'd ultimately be sleeping anyway. And then we analyze the data and ultimately tell your physician what it is that you do at night and whether or not you need further treatment.
Okay, so it is a dangerous condition if it's left untreated. If you think you might have sleep apnea, you might want to check out the Sleep Center, give them a call, and check out one of their symposiums April the 26th at the Wellness Center. I'm Deb Lassant reporting for News 13's Health Check.